Herbicide matrices provide a great visual and comparison for how chemicals and crop types can interact. Corteva's herbicide matrix looks at how Paradigm, a post-emergent, can affect broadleaf weeds and cereals and other crop types. Paradigm has two actives, with Arylex being one that helps to provide the greatest impact on weed control. Today, we are joined by Ben Whykes from Corteva AgriScience, who'll be talking to us about the effect of Paradigm and how it can help you with your weed control. But first, let's take a look at the trial site out at Inverleigh.
G'day, Ben Whykes here from Corteva AgriScience. I'm the Territory Manager for Western Victoria. Today here at the Southern Farming Systems trial at Inverleigh, we're looking at the reconstruct-deconstruct herbicide matrix that we've got here with a focus on Paradigm with Arylex Active. So Paradigm with Arylex is a broadleaf herbicide, post-emergent herbicide for broadleaf control in cereals. It provides flexibility, compatibility and spectrum and is very versatile for growers. So Paradigm provides the spectrum to take out hard to kill weeds such as dead nettle, thistles, marshmallow, fumitory, volunteer legumes, medic and bifora. It also provides greater selectivity and flexibility by adding fungicides into the mix for a one-pass option for growers. So what we have here is two treatments. The only difference here is the Arylex component. So this first treatment has fluorogalam plus LVE plus uptake versus Paradigm with Arylex, LVE and uptake. This is what we can see on vetch treated here. You can see that there's a little bit of vetch here that hasn't quite been killed. So what we also have here is the Paradigm, and you can see a greater kill within this plot treatment of the vetch. What we have here also is the same two treatments, the Paradigm being this one, and you can actually see the activity on coriander. Now why we use coriander is an indicator plant to see activity on bifora. And what you can clearly see is the difference here between the Paradigm, LVE and uptake versus the fluorogalam, LVE and uptake. Okay, so a couple of others that I just want to bring your attention to is the favour beans that we've got planted here. And once again, what you can see is these favour beans in here have the Paradigm plus LVE uptake mix. Seems to have hit those quite hard, and we'll see what they're like in a couple of weeks' time, versus what we have here, which is the fluorogalam LVE uptake mix. So why recommend Paradigm? Paradigm provides the spectrum, compatibility, flexibility for growers, but it also provides crop safety and great plant backs to crops for their following year.
It's always so great to see the effects of a product out in a trial. For now, I'll be handing back to Ben to give a bit more of a presentation and answer any questions you might have.
Thanks, Greta. So I just wanted to run over. Thanks once again for being invited to talk today. Just wanted to run over the matrix itself in a little bit more detail. So sowing day and spraying day are there. This is what we concentrated on. This is what we concentrated on in terms of the video there, but we also have other Arylex products in this matrix there, and you can see the range of various oversown crops. Now, some of these are for crop safety, such as the wheat, barley, oats. Others are to represent the kill on weeds and as indicator plants. So quickly, just Rexaid is a one pass broadleaf grass herbicide, safe on wheat and triticale only. Has 6 grass weeds, 24 broadleaf weeds. If we look at the Rexaid here versus some competitors, you can see you're picking up a whole heap of broadleaf weeds. And the key thing here is just the visual control here. We use a scale of 95, 90 plus 95 is excellent control. 90 to 95 we rate as good suppression. 70 to 90 is suppression, and anything under 70 has little activity. So you can see the range of broadleaf weeds you're picking up. The message out of this is, if you are using something to try and pick up wild oats or brome, if that's an issue as it starts to increase, you should really be looking at Rexaid as an option. Pixaro was another one that we used, and we're comparing that with Star Aim. Now, many of you have probably used Star Aim in fallow. Pixaro has the Arylex Active added to it. It's a really good alternative to Group B herbicides. It has little brassica activity, but really good on marshmallows and other susceptible weeds, Arylex susceptible weeds. The paradigm part of it was really interesting, and what we've got here is just some data to back that up. So it's a broadleaf herbicide. The timing is very flexible. You have 13 to 37 with your LVE component, 39 out to 43. You know, you can mix that with your amine component, and it can go out all the way out to growth stage 49 on its own. A couple of do nots just to be mindful of, and as always, just check your label rates to make sure that the timing is correct with them. So just a couple of little things is that there's been a bit of talk around fluorogalam. It's not a replacement for Paradigm. Adding tank mix partners to fluorogalam won't provide the same results as the Paradigm LVE in uptake. Many of you would have heard of products called Torpedo and Conclude. Conclude is about 10 years old, which is basically what we use there, fluorogalam plus LVE. And they were stepping stones to our Arylex-based products. So Arylex adds the significant value into Paradigm. It adds the better weed control, and it also adds the bigger spectrum, weed spectrum. And that's what growers have experienced and come to expect over the last couple of years using Paradigm. So some of the nitty gritty in terms of the data here, and this backs up what we saw in the field. And this is data that we've collected over the years. So faba beans, for example, you can see this is just a Paradigm and a wetter versus fluorogalam and an uptake oil, which in itself will add some value to the kill. And you can see the Paradigm is by far and away doing a better job than just straight fluorogalam. Other things that you want to pick up that we mentioned was Bifora, or the coriander, I should say, which is, as I indicated, is an indicator plant just to check activity. Other things such as, milk thistle, marshmallow, dead nettle, and fumitory are other things that all Paradigm has really good activity on. Just in terms of some of the data sets, you can see here that the fluorogalam versus the Paradigm, and you've got an average there for faba beans, controlling, getting good control up there. Bifora is another one that is, whilst the Western districts might not have it, will certainly, is increasing, particularly up north of Horsham and things like that. Sorry, I should have mentioned also that Conclude was basically fluorogalam at 5 grams and 500 mils of LVE. So the only difference in these is the Arylex component. Other information that we have, and unfortunately we couldn't find any milk thistle or south thistle in the paddock, but what you can see here is that the Paradigm in a mix is doing a really good job versus what the Conclude has to offer. Fumitory, once again, real little to no activity versus, 100% kill almost on that. And dead nettle, Arylex is absolutely dynamite on dead nettle. So if you actually have dead nettle in your paddock, one of these Arylex based products will be absolutely dynamite on it. And then prickly lettuce, of course. So again, much more. There's some nice synergies there between, Paradigm and your LVE, tightening up that data slide. So look, just to wrap it up quickly, Greta, Paradigm has provided it provides a great spectrum on a wide range of broadleaf weeds over, wheat, barley, oats, and triticale, so your cereals. It's selective, it's compatible. Our cousins in South Australia, while we don't recommend it, they have tried to break this product and haven't been successful. And then it's also flexible as well. So it actually allows you the ability to move in and out and add different, whether it be LVE or amine, or use it on its own. So it's quite flexible on that front. So why recommend Paradigm? It's the weed spectrum, crop safety, compatibility, and plant backs. It's what growers have actually come to expect. Any advisors who are on the line, it's your confidence in the product, and we'll give you all the support and backup that you actually need. So it's the Arylex component that puts the punch into Paradigm. Any questions on that front? Sorry, it's fairly quick. But hopefully that's given everyone just a quick overview of it.
Thanks, Ben. That was really great. We actually have a question from the floor for you today. Wondering, what is the current status of resistance to these products in wild radish and other weeds?
Yeah, so thanks. That's a good question. So Group Bs have been used for a little while. The current status is at this stage, we don't know of any known resistance. What I would say is where Paradigm is a benefit is that your Arylex is a subgroup I. So if you do have any group I resistance to wild radish, you will can actually pick up some of those resistant wild radish on that front. And then if you've got Group B resistance, you've got Group B resistance. So yeah.
Excellent. So with the year we've had in the Western districts, it's been pretty wet, and a lot of farmers haven't been able to get onto the paddocks or even just a few times. Can Paradigm be used with a fungicide to help save the two application processes?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had plenty of fungicides go with it. At this stage, we're unaware of any compatibility issues, but plenty of fungicides, plenty of insecticides have also gone out with Paradigm. We've also had a lot of the micronutrients, zincs and coppers also go out. What I would say is a word of warning that if you are going to mix, either contact a Corteva person, myself, or anyone else you may deal with, or the other thing is just be mindful of the adjuvant of choice that tends to be an issue of anything there. But Paradigm itself is very compatible.
Excellent. I'm sure that's great news for a lot of farmers. In your presentation, we saw that Paradigm had quite the number of growth stages it can be applied to. Have you seen any crop safety or issues when it's applied later in the season?
No crop safety issues at all. It's very compatible, very soft on crop. So yeah, no, we haven't come across any issues there.
Fantastic. We saw Arylex as part of the program now. Is that going to be available in other products?
So Arylex is a product that is, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, it's available in Rexaid, it's available in Pixaro. So for cereal crops, that is available. But as a standalone product, Arylex won't be available.